Applebee Island. The causeway over to the island had been washed away after the 2021 monster storm. With the crossing gone, the ferry service was the only means of access to the island. Located only 500 metres away from the mainland, the storm exposed the reality of island living. Some of the residents commuted by car daily to their jobs on the mainland, but now had to rely on the ferry and added bus service. Despite the disruption, most houses and the two businesses survived and weren't badly damaged. The artisans that lived there continued, opening their studios on the weekends as usual for the public. A bakery and cafe and an information gift shop were located opposite the jetty, which was also badly damaged. In all, 57 people lived on Applebee, deciding that even with the causeway out of action, its peace and tranquility that it offered far outweighed the strain of mainland life. The densely wooded island had some beautiful walks around it and through it, and it teemed with wildlife. The Barton River surrounded its shores, the black water cold and mysterious. For a short time, Applebee served as a penal colony, but closed due to the cost of maintaining it. Along one of its walkways there was a plaque dedicated to Benjamin Wright, the only prisoner to successfully escape from the island, swimming the 500 metres to the mainland in the dead of night. There were reports of sightings, but he was never recaptured and then simply vanished, never to be heard of again. The community comes together once a year at the cafe for a type of Thanksgiving celebration in honour of Stuart Applebee, whom the island is named after. He was the first free settler on the island and builder of the first home, of which now has been transformed into the present bakery. A recorded diary event by Mr. Applebee notes the 7th of January 1898 as his arrival and tenancy, the date now set aside for the annual soiree. Every resident on the island is automatically invited, with special invitations going out to those with past history to the island. Mr. Applebee was a wealthy businessman who one day decided to sell up everything he owned to escape society and bought the title to the island. He became famous for his visits to the mainland, stopping up on provisions, always including many bottles of scotch and champagne, to take back to his island on his little wooden vessel, the Irony. Mr. Applebee had no wife or family, but had many acquaintances. He invited old friends and business associates to attend opulent and eloquent evenings of which Mr. Applebee would proudly cook and serve a mini banquet for his guests. He would then row his boat across the river to patch them across the island and then, usually the next day, and much more sober, safely return them back to the mainland. Mr. Applebee had an employee named Talbot Wright, a man aged in his 30s. He was a proficient woodsmith. In return for his work, he received lodgings and 3 meals daily. An offer at the time was very luring. It was rumoured that Talbot was the son of Benjamin. A young man of great character and focus, was the diary entry. It seems that the young Mr. Wright's hands probably built the original structure at the direction and supervision of Mr. Applebee. With the building completed, though, Stuart Applebee had no reason to keep him on any longer. The businessman in him still had sway. Unfortunately for Talbot, his days were now numbered. Mr. Applebee had a chest containing well over an estimated £10,000. Close to closure with Mr. Applebee, he attempted to steal 2 pockets worth of the money, hiding it in his bag. Not aware of Applebee's awareness of his deed, he happily sat as a passenger on the Irony, while Stuart ably rowed towards the mainland. Legend has it there was a confrontation between the two, with Mr. Talbot coming off second best. Mr. Applebee drawing a pistol and shooting Talbot dead, then tying him down with the anchor and dropping him into the cold black water of the Barton. This was never proven, of course, but just like Benjamin Wright, Talbot vanished without trace. Years later, Stuart Applebee was hosting one of his infamous dinner parties when he suddenly collapsed and died from a heart attack. His friends gave him a fine tribute at a well-attended funeral. He is buried on the mainland, not on his beloved island, with a large inscribed headstone. He was 62 years of age. To this day, no one knows what happened to his chest of money. Perhaps he hid it carefully in fear of being robbed again. I'm quite sure Mr. Applebee would not have wanted to be buried on the mainland, the place that he fled, preferring to lay at rest on the place that he loved. At the annual island festivity, there was always a toast to Mr. Applebee. To the founder, they all say, and on cue the lights flicker, an acknowledgement of their salute perhaps, or a frustration, telling the gathering that the island is still his and resenting their presence.